Cricket is my passion and business is my playground. One fuels the soul, the other fuels the mind.
थोड़ा सा हमें early days के बारे में बताइएगा यासिर around your articleship.
I think I owe a lot to what I am today to EY. They've helped me become a better version of myself in terms of giving me the discipline, the business instinct that I have today.
Yasir Gadit is a chartered accountant from Pakistan. He's also titled as one of the LinkedIn's top voices with more than 45,000 followers on LinkedIn. He's also the managing director and partner at athGADLANG.
Everybody from my class was either looking at Yale, University of Toronto, University of London, Manchester. I was the only one in my class who wanted to do CA and everybody was like, CA कैसे करेंगे? I was always a mediocre student.
वो आपने कहा था कि when there is chaos, I don't run towards the exit, I run towards the fire. What's the story behind this? What does it exactly mean?
One of our employee flew away with cash right before COVID. So we did not lay off anybody at that point in time. We did not deduct anybody's salary. What we did is...
What's the point of living in a city like Dubai?
I don't think इसका आंसर हमें करना भी चाहिए.
जैसे मेरे जैसा अगर कोई बंदा हो who is thinking about starting a professional services firm, तो क्या strengths हैं इस चीज़ की, क्या weaknesses हैं, क्या threats हैं, क्या opportunities हैं? Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the CFO podcast. I'm especially excited about today's episode because my guest today is not just a force in finance, but he's also a friend that I particularly enjoy sharing the cricket field with. I also look up to him for inspiration because he's a fellow dream chaser, he carries an infectious energy around him, and he comes across as a natural leader. Yasir Gadit is a chartered accountant from Pakistan. He's also titled as one of the LinkedIn's top voices with more than 45,000 followers on LinkedIn. So definitely he has built a massive personal brand for himself. He's also the managing director and partner at athGADLANG. athGADLANG is one of the fastest growing professional services firms in the region. They come across with more than 300 professionals who are working across multiple geographies including UAE, Saudi, Bahrain, Pakistan, and most recently the UK. Yasir has also led the ICAP UAE chapter, ICAP being the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan's UAE chapter multiple times, and he has earned deep respect and admiration from a wide finance community in the region. So in today's episode, we are going to be diving in with Yasir, talking to him about his journey from working as an auditor in EY to building his own consulting firm. We're going to be talking to him about how he has built this massive personal brand for himself, which has not just attracted clients, but also talent and trust. And last but not the least, we are going to be talking a little bit about a thing that we mutually love, which is cricket. So Yasir, thank you very much for taking our time and welcome to the CFO podcast.
Thank you very much, Yasir. Were you actually talking about me today?
Absolutely. I was talking about you, and there are thousands of followers on LinkedIn that you have, which can bear witness to that. So thank you very much, Yasir.
Thank you very much, and looking forward.
Yasir, so generally I start off with an interesting question, which I like to call as a bouncer. So Yasir, for you, my bouncer would be, Yasir, if money was not a concern, and if all resources were abundantly available to you, would you still be chasing your professional passions, or would you be doing something else?
That's a good question to start with. Cricket is my passion and business is my playground. One fuels the soul, the other fuels the mind. So I think even if money wasn't the concern, I would still be chasing both. Maybe cricket over the weekend and work during the weekdays. But I personally feel those people who have seen me play cricket would definitely suggest that I should focus more on business.
Yasir, I think while I would like to agree with you, I would want to agree with you as one of the people who generally play on opposite side. But what I've seen from some of your recent innings, and one of which you recently posted on your LinkedIn, I think you would prove yourself wrong because you're one of those batsmen who have this unique style of playing, this unique balance between carrying on the innings versus also hitting those big shots. So I think you're wrong. I think you're underrating yourself big time on cricket. But anyway, I'll take it as is because you're my guest today. I think one more thing, Yasir, that I really enjoyed doing with one of my earlier guests was that, for example, Babar, is that I and him, we both decided that we're going to do it in both a mix of English and Urdu because some of the stories best come out in the language of your comfort. So mix and match करते रहेंगे ताकि ज़बरदस्त चले. तो यासिर भाई आपसे यहाँ से स्टार्ट करना चाहूँगा जैसे मैं जनरली करता हूँ इज़ अराउंड आपकी ज़िंदगी में जो अर्ली इन्फ्लुएंसेस होते हैं, मेंटोरशिप होती है, यासिर उस पर थोड़ा सा हमें बताइएगा because a lot of what you are today is a product of how you were back then. Tell us a little bit about how Yasir was as a kid growing up.
Asad, talking about influencer, I think I had only one influencer in my life, which was my father. He was after my life that I should start something on my own, like a Maiman would do. And then I remember when I finally decided that yes, I wanted to do what I'm currently doing. I went up to him and said, okay, I'm not sure कि पहला client कैसे आएगा, business कैसे start होगा, या client आ भी गया तो उसको execute कैसे करेंगे. I had various doubts in my mind, like anybody would have. And I remember him saying one thing कि बेटा दुकान जब खोलोगे ना तो customers आएंगे. So I think what he meant to say कि you need to take the first step and the rest would follow. So that actually laid the foundation for me. And when you talk about the guiding force or the motivation or people who have mentored me, I would rate my elder brother Arshad. So Arshad has been the guiding force for me. So I actually looked up to him in many various ways. I started CA just like he did. I joined EY just following his footsteps. Right after completing his CA, he moved to Middle East. I did the same. So he's not actually strategically advised me, he's advised me on a personal level. So he has always been a mentor for me. And like anybody else, I think family has always been there for everybody. And then for me, my family was always there. They did not only just give me advices, they gave me the belief that yes, we are there and you will be able to do it. And then that actually helped me become what I am today. And then the rest is history.
Amazing, Yasir. Yasir, this is so interesting because ये इतनी consistent theme है. मैं जिससे भी बात करता हूँ, जो ये question जब भी आता है, तो every time the answer roots back to the family, the father, the elder brother. So I think ये बड़ी interesting चीज़ है. I don't know if it's communal in our communities or it's just a broader theme everywhere. But you're right. It's true for me as well. Exactly, this is how I got inspired by my parents as well, especially my father, who's definitely worked very hard in front of my eyes to get me to a place where I can go on from. Yasir, at the same time, you mentioned about your father and Arshad Bhai. I mean, I have had the privilege of and the honor of meeting both of them. For the audience who doesn't know, of course, your father recently passed away, and we hope, wish, and pray and to God that may Allah grant him the highest ranks in Jannah. One of the questions that I would also generally start with from people who are from accountancy background is कि आपके जो early days थे around chartered accountancy, articleship, वो जो कहते हैं ना वो डायमंड जो हैं वो प्रेशर टेस्ट से निकलते हैं. थोड़ा सा हमें early days के बारे में बताइएगा यासिर around your articleship और वो जो भी experiences थे उनका कितना influence है आज जैसे आप हैं.
You've been a part of Big 4. You know how it works there. Being a part of EY, I think I owe a lot to what I am today to EY. They've helped me become a better version of myself in terms of giving me the discipline, the business instinct that I have today also comes in from EY. And then when you talk about CA, CA was always the first option. I remember in school, we used to have that counseling session. उस counseling session में सारे लोग आके बैठते थे, and then teacher used to ask what you would want to become and how you would want to pursue what you want to do. Everybody from my class was either looking at Yale's, they were looking at University of Toronto, University of London, Manchester, and then different part of the world. I was the only one in my school, in my class, who wanted to do CA, and everybody was like, "Yaar, CA kaise karega?" I was always a mediocre student. I was never a teacher's pet. Always a mediocre student. Decently placed myself as a student as well as a sports child. So I was playing cricket as well as decent education. At that point in time, I realized that your marks will take you to a certain level, but it's more of a mindset that needs to be there. So I think. Yes, coming back to your question, that yes, EY has shaped me in becoming what I am today, and at the same time, I think CA was the passport to get there.
Yasir, this is very interesting. And talking about EY, Yasir, बहुत सारे लोग, हजारों लोग जो firms में काम कर रहे होते हैं, for them to start something of their own is just a dream, and sometimes it just remains a dream and dies as a dream. But I think you and some of your colleagues that you work with, I think you not only had this dream, but you had the courage to convert this into reality. तो यासिर ये entrepreneurial mindset ये कैसे आता है? Is it just because
I know
बिल्कुल नहीं, बिल्कुल I have these respect for Maimans as well, और होनी भी चाहिए क्योंकि घर पे भी जाना है. But other than that, यासिर थोड़ा सा इसके बारे में बताइए, because including myself, I enjoy working for the company that I'm working for, but somewhere deep down there is this desire खुद का करना है. But ये courage, ये boldness, How does it come?
Like I mentioned, my father always wanted me to start something. And I remember as a part of when you're part of an organization like EY, you're a small part of a huge organization. Right after that, I moved out of EY to a boutique management consulting firm where I was a bigger part of a small organization in terms of dealing with the clients, in terms of the issues, the core issues a business would have, dealing with the people, managing people, those type of things. And right at that time, fortunate for me, what I did, I entered into a completely unrelated business. Not many people would know, but then I started a saloon in Pakistan.
Really?
Yeah. I
Interesting.
started small. Bada hote hote, we had around 40 people working. All the celebrities used to come in there. And then we successfully exited out of it. And at
Nice.
that point in time, I realized कि अगर कोई ऐसा business जहाँ पर मैं personally in terms of execution contribute नहीं कर सकता, and I was only managing that, and we could make it a success, why not something जिसमें I've got my education in and I can contribute more than what I'm actually doing day in, day out. So I think that was the time when we decided that yes, this is something that I wanted to do. And we came up with the idea, and then the usual part of preparing the feasibilities, budgets, and then coming up, making sure कि वो पैसे कैसे डालने हैं, कैसे invest करने हैं, and how to go about it, and the rest follows.
Perfect, Yasir. I honestly didn't know about this experience, so I think ये काफ़ी नई चीज़ है मेरे लिए भी. But good to know that, Yasir, कि entrepreneurship सिर्फ आपकी consulting में नहीं थी, but also in hairstyling and other things. Yasir, so cricket की मैंने बात की starting में कि हम we both have mutual love for this game and a lot of our friends broadly as well, जो कि यहाँ पे नहीं है अभी हमारे साथ फिर भी. Yasir, ये बताएं कि I've seen you on the cricket field, you're super passionate about it, yet you are very composed on most of the occasions, unless somebody really pokes in the wrong areas. But I've seen you coming out naturally as a leader. I've played in your teams and against you as well, and on both occasions I have nothing but respect. I've seen in tough situations you would huddle your team together, you would strategize, re-strategize. You would always be the voice who's gonna say that no, you're gonna get through this. I know this is just a game, but it's more than just a game as well, because a lot of what you say and what you do on those fields, on those higher pressure situations, high stakes are there. I think a lot of that also translates into how you behave जब आप professional world में होते हैं. Yasir, is there a parallel between these two things, or is this completely two different worlds and without any connection?
It's completely related, completely. Cricket for me and business goes hand in hand. अगर आप compare भी करते हैं ना सर, for example, if you look at it, cricket में in an intense game, you need to see which bowlers you need to use. You understand the pitch, you understand the other team players, you understand which batsman to go and which batsman would go and play the innings, whether you need to go fast in chasing a score or you need to be calm and taking singles. Similarly, if you talk about dealing with a particular client, it goes exactly the same. So you need to see who from your team would be going and meeting the client expectations, meeting the deadlines, client satisfaction. But at the end, I think if you look at it, winning a cricket match, की जो satisfaction है ना, is much more than winning a client and then making sure the client gets satisfied. But then the strategy, the leadership, all those things goes hand in hand. I've taken all those learnings from cricket and then implementing into the business. But मेरा एक personal belief भी है, and I'm sure we have played together like you said, and then we played against and then together as well. I personally feel it's not over till it's over. And I remember that we've been playing in a match जहाँ पर जो है ना वो we are defending a very small total, but then the game has gone to the last ball, and that has always been because of the feeling that it's not over till it's over. They need to score all those runs in order to win that. So I try to make sure that we go to the last ball and pull out victory out of it, and that has been our motto, our way of looking at businesses.
Yasir, जैसे आपने बात की high intense situations, high stakes games. Yasir, आपको ये भी लगता है कि मतलब once you are competing with somebody who is equally as competitive, so it builds that mutual respect. बड़ी एक invisibly एक respect develop हो रही होती है for the other side as well. या फिर it is adversarial and your enemy is on the pitch and off the pitch. Because what I have seen is, Yasir, ke even with people that I've played against, they have become really good friends of mine, have really, started to respect for what they've brought on the field and off the field. So is this something that you feel as well?
I don't think इसका आंसर हमें करना भी चाहिए, क्योंकि if you look at it, India-Pakistan game, the most intense game the rivalry going on for n number of years. And then when cricketers meet off the pitch, like you would say, yaar, ye kaise kar rahe? Virat Kohli giving a bat to Amir, and
Yes.
then Bumrah giving a gift to Shaheen, and then likewise. And then in the n number of podcasts and then interviews, you hear cricketers like Wasim Akram saying that they used to spend time with Indian players and Indian cricketers, and likewise Sunil Gavaskar, Navjot Singh Sidhu mentioning about their time with the Pakistani players. So I think for us, as much as we are competing each other in the cricket field, but then you go off the field, it's all gone. But again, cricket may field, and then we've got examples like this. When he's playing cricket, he gives his all mind,
100%.
body, soul to the game.
100%.
So वो जो passion है ना, and then for our passion for game, somebody like age of 40 or close to 40, and then I'm 40, you're close to 40, तो वो जो है ना, this game would not work without passion. So I think वो off the field जो है ना, वो चीज़ें manage हमेशा होती हैं. We are all friends at the end of the day. We play against, but we are sitting together as friends.
Of course.
And inshallah, we'll continue to be friends.
100%. There is intensity on the field, off the field, फिर वो सारी चीज़ें fizzle out हो जाती हैं, and you huddle together, और फिर आप वहीं से शुरू करते हैं. Actually, मैं काफ़ी दोस्तों से बात भी करता हूँ, यासिर, this is amateur cricket, जाहिर सी बात है, and what we are doing just simply is building memories together. Really, 10 years down the line, when none of us would be playing cricket, I think except Bakas and South, बिल्कुल. तो उस वक्त हम बैठ के ही नहीं सोच रहे होंगे कि यार हमने तुम्हारे अगेंस्ट खेला, या तुमने, we'll be like, यार, we played cricket together. Under the same roof and at the same tournaments. I think cricket से यासिर एक और चीज़ भी मैं देखता हूँ that you have a tendency of being, you're quite chatty on the field, right? You're just not silently standing there. You're sometimes trying to get under the skin of the opposition. कुछ ना कुछ आपकी banter चल रही होती है किसी से. मैं भी अक्सर बैटिंग करने आता हूँ. The first tournament that I played against you back in 2018, जब मैं नया था और मेरी आपसे सलाम दुआ थी barely, तो I came to bat and I used to run a lot. तो आज still I remember to date आपका dialogue था वहाँ दूर से खड़े के जूते तोड़ेगा. So ये जो banter है यासिर, और ये जो mind games होते हैं, are they real and do they have any place in the real world as well, in professional world?
देखिए, this is completely different. But अगर मैं banter for me, जब किसी का game इतना अच्छा नहीं होता ना, तो you need to focus on the words. आपको जीतना पड़ता है. Either you win with the bat or a ball, or you win with the banter. तो this is what I was trying to do. वो video बना ली. That's it. But other than that, तो फिर वो banter से ही हम मैच जीतते रहे. But then if you talk about it in the real world, I don't think this holds true. ठीक है. तो you can't do that. It could make you win games, but then you would not be able to win hearts. And then in the longer run, I think that would not be the right way of looking at it. So you need to make friends in the business as well.
Yeah. Amazing. I mean, very well said, Yasir. Would make you win games, but not make you win hearts. Strong. I think, Yasir, moving on from here, Zahir, the business that you're building, Yasir, it's nothing but inspirational. 300 log hain, more than 5 geographies, and mashallah expanding. And I always say this, and I've said this off record, on the record, it's a very proud moment for me as well. I mean, I belong distantly to this community as well, not just from a finance angle, but from a Pakistani angle as well. So it makes me really proud to see you guys, how you're building athGADLANG, things that come to us, we direct towards you, not because we know you or you're a friend, but we also know the kind of quality जो आप लोग produce करते हैं, यासिर. So यासिर, ये जो professional services का business होता है, ज़ाहिर है इसमें assets, factories, ये सब चीज़ें तो नहीं होती, लेकिन लोग ही होते हैं, people. So it's a people first business. तो यासिर, मैं देखता हूँ जिस तरह culture आपकी organization में, I've had the pleasure of passing by your office as well. तो एक बड़ा there is a very perfect balance between personal touch with your employees versus this professional attitude. तो यासिर, ये कैसे built होता है और इसकी क्या principles होते हैं?
Yeah, I read it somewhere, Asad, then I found it true, that you don't build businesses, you build teams, and the team builds business. I think that has been very true for us as well. So we have spent time and effort in building those teams within the organization. I proudly say that, yes, we are a people-first organization. And this is what I realized, that while being a part of EY, and like I mentioned earlier, that we've been a smallish part of a bigger organization, but everybody needs recognition. Everybody needs that push, respect. And then as a part of the organization, we have been pushing and then spending time with the team and making sure that our people are empowered. When they are empowered, they produce result. I think that has been our motto in the organization. So What was your question again?
तो मैं ये कह रहा था कि ये इस तरह के जो कल्चर्स बिल्ड होते हैं यासिर, इसके पीछे कोई साइंस होती है, देयर आर प्रिंसिपल्स, आर दीज डन कॉन्शियसली कि यार अच्छा हम ये 3 प्रिंसिपल्स पे काम करेंगे कि डेवलपिंग पीपल, एम्पावरिंग देम, जैसे आपने बात की, तो ब्रॉड सा क्वेश्चन था अराउंड दिस कि इसके पीछे सोच क्या होती है?
सोच यही है, as in I said, बिल्कुल, as in we have sat down, we have thought through that we need to empower. In a service business, we're not producing Coke or any product.
जी.
We are selling actually the time of the people, and those people need to be empowered, and then they need to be felt respected within the. So we have done that consciously. We train people. We spend time with them. As in, I personally go out for lunches with them. I go into their rooms, spend time. थोड़ी सी मजाक मस्ती, what I usually do off the field and on the field as well. तो वो ऑफिस में भी इसी तरीके से चल रहा होता है. तो I think that they feel part of the organization more, and that actually helped us in building the organization.
यासिर, एक मैं थोड़ा सा एक्सकर्जन लूँगा, थोड़ा सा एक डाइवर्जन. वो ये यासिर कि जैसे लीडरशिप की बात हो रही है, आई मीन देयर इज़ नॉट इवन अ डिबेट दैट यू होल्ड अ वेरी सॉर्ट ऑफ स्ट्रॉन्ग पोजिशन व्हेन इट कम्स टू टॉकिंग अबाउट लीडरशिप. you've proven yourself as a leader in the organization, in the community, ICAP UAE chapter के उससे एंगल से. Beyond that, you not only hold respect in the ICAP community, but मैंने देख Indian Chartered Accountants हैं, श्रीलंकन Chartered Accountants हैं, Philippine Chartered Accountancy body. तो मतलब you've been able to sort of gather this mass respect and admiration. तो of course there is something that people hold for you around leadership. तो leadership में यासिर मैंने देखा है कि either leaders try to distance themselves away from the people that are reporting to them or working with them, because उनको लगता है कि यार अगर हम बहुत करीब हो जाएंगे उनके तो we wouldn't be able to extract the right results out of them. दूसरी तरीके की लीडरशिप होती है जिसमें you have this unique magic of striking that balance कि नहीं यार मैं उनके करीब भी होऊंगा so that they feel personal, at the same time मैं उनसे इतना दूर भी होऊंगा कि I can get the work out of them. मैं भी इस डायलेमा में अक्सर रहता हूँ, तो आप अपना एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करें ज़रा.
लीडरशिप पे ना hundreds of books are गूगल पे, चैट GPT पे जाके लिखते हैं leadership styles, and then talking about leadership you will get various ways of leading the team, leadership. But I think वो सारी जो बुकिश बातें हैं ना वो एक तरफ रह जाती हैं. What you actually do when you're on the ground and you deal with different type of people, especially when you talk about UAE, you're dealing with a multicultural environment, diverse background, different part of the world. There's no one set of rule, I think, that you can follow in terms of leading those people, leading those team. तो वो जो है ना आपको adopt करना पड़ता है as you move along, and that leadership जो है ना again मैं आपको क्वेश्चन भूल गया सर.
नहीं मैं I was just saying कि वो जो ये कॉन्शियस बैलेंस जो होता है कि सम पीपल ट्राई टू गेट क्लोजर टू देयर टीम्स वो पर्सनल लेवल पे, और कुछ होते हैं जो अपने आप को बिल्कुल they keep themselves in a shell, in a silo.
When I said what you need to do is you don't go by that, you go by the experience, and you need to adopt. So what I have personally done, and this can be true, this is true for me and may or may not hold true for everybody, but what I try to do is I try to stay close to them. Itna close कि I get to know them personally, and then for most of them I know their personal issues. This may or may not be the right fit, but it's working well for me. And then the kind of an individual I am, I would like to connect with an individual at personal level. And then when somebody at any point in time leaves the organization for good, so I feel that somebody as a part of the family is leaving. So इस level पे मैं हूँ. And then for organization, we always have an open door policy. Somebody who is joined in recently can come up and talk to the partner or manager, and then likewise somebody who's been a part of the family. जो कहते हैं कि जीना यहाँ मरना यहाँ, इसके सिवा जाना कहाँ. तो ठीक है. तो I think that has been the way for us. Like I said, may or may not hold true for everybody, but it's working well for us.
Amazing. यासिर, एक recently आपने एक post किया था which I would like to bring up here for discussion. And it again speaks to people. वो आपने कहा था कि when there is chaos, I don't run towards the exit, I run towards the fire, something around that. तो यासिर इसके पीछे what's the story behind this? What does it exactly mean?
अच्छा देखिए, if every business face challenges, and talking about it, I think that was a few years back, and that was the time of COVID. When pandemic came, every business had its own share of nuances, issues, challenges. And then for us, we were faced by a double challenge. So I remember at that point in time, one of our employee flew away with cash right before COVID. And in fact, I exactly remember the date. So it was 29th of February 2020. So in the leap year. उस date. And then by the time we wanted to go and look for him, he flew away. Closed, सारी चीज़ें खत्म. And then COVID came in. At that point in time, things started to go from bad to worst. Clients started to go. At that point in time, I said, we did not run. हमने क्या किया? We sat down, we discussed, and I owe a lot to my partners who gave everybody confidence. So what we did, we never looked at the bottom line. So we never looked at the cost side of the business. So we did not lay off anybody at that point in time. We did not deduct anybody's salary. What we did is our focus was always on the top line, revenue. How do we sustain the revenue? How do we bring in more revenue? And when we sat down, we did our brainstorming session. We realized that जो है ना clients जा रहे थे were merely because they wanted to reduce their cost. And at that point in time, we realized that all those clients which are there with Big4, they would also be looking for the cost cut. And this is where we became the second best option for them. And then those clients who were working with Big4, they started to come to us. And Alhamdulillah, 2020 eventually became one of the best years of our business at that point in time. So I think that was the overall idea behind it, that I do not run from fires. So that was the overall idea behind it.
What a story, Yasir. Because do you think at time of challenge, you were able to turn this into a blessing? I mean, for you. I mean, this is pretty much, it's quite parallel to how the Dubai story is what we now know today, right? Pre-COVID, I mean, we all know it was a big lackluster sort of property maybe crisis there, and then COVID came, and everybody thought came because most of them are expats. I mean, they turned it into their favor by strategizing in the right way. And I think कुछ जो आपने बताया वो भी ऐसा ही लगता है that you were able to re-strategize and turn it into your favor. So great story, Yasir. Yasir, एक और चीज़ है, I think यहाँ से it's a perfect foundation for us to now go into the next section जो आमतौर से मैं हर दफ़ा करता हूँ. I do a SWOT analysis, Yasir, because a lot of value that I'm trying to create through this podcast is for the finance fraternity, चाहे वो किस भी level पे हो, young level पे हो, mid level पे हो, senior level पे हो. तो Yasir, अब now that mashallah you've built this massive professional services practice of your own with your great partners that you have, जैसे आपने बताया 300 लोग is significant. You can't just ignore that. More than 5 geographies that you're operating in. Yasir, तो इसका थोड़ा SWOT analysis करते हैं. जैसे मेरे जैसा अगर कोई बंदा हो who is thinking about starting a professional services firm for the sake of example, तो क्या strengths हैं इस चीज़ की, क्या weaknesses हैं, क्या threats हैं, क्या opportunities हैं?
Talking about strengths, Asad, I think our strength is we're agile. We respond to the client. The moment we get a query, we jump onto it and we work to their satisfaction. And at the same time, I would say, yes, we are a people-first organization. So that's our strength, I would say. Talking about weakness, we've been growing. Maintaining that culture that we have is a bit of a weakness. The opportunities are many. M&A advisory, we've got new jurisdiction, new countries to look at, AI, technology, opportunities are immense. And talking about threats, yes. Threats, I think regulatory requirements that are a bit of a threat. So you need to manage those. This is how I do the SWOT analysis of AT.
And Yasir, from an opportunity perspective, जैसे we keep following you as well. AG mergers अभी आपने recently कुछ किया था, फिर around you've this disproportionate focus around technology. You also got a few very well-known people on board. So Yasir, अब जैसे I know there is a lot of buzz around AI technology, but there is a huge amount of reality to that as well. So athGADLANG का इस तरफ क्या focus है and how do they value this going forward?
New requirements from the law comes in. Let's say talk about e-invoicing, which is just around the corner. So when e-invoicing comes in, we are ready with our technology in order to cater to the market. So whenever the requirement is coming in, we are ready with the technology to cater to that. At the same time, जो पुरानी चीज़ें चल रही हैं in the normal way, we're trying to digitalize those for the clients' needs and requirements. And then when you talk about us internally, our management, we have digitalized most of the things in terms of how our invoicing to payments and those kind of things are taken care of. And then we've reduced the human touch to a certain extent so that things get more organized and streamlined. So that has been our way of looking at AI and technology. Yeah.
यासिर एक और चीज़ बिकॉज यू मीट सो मेनी क्लाइंट्स आपकी है लोगों से डिफरेंट इंडस्ट्रीज़ के दुबई और यूएई की इकॉनमी के बारे में पीपल हैव वेरी वेरीड सॉर्ट परसेप्शंस एक बहुत ही ब्रॉड स्पेक्ट्रम है कुछ लोगों के नज़दीक जो है बिल्कुल ही देयर इज़ अ डूम्सडे सिनेरियो कमिंग अप कुछ लोगों के नज़दीक नहीं यार हर साल देयर आर 200,000 पीपल कमिंग इन मिलियनेयर्स बिलियनेयर्स व्हाटएवर सो in between the spectrum where do you see is a real economic picture looks like?
Dubai has, and a lot goes to the leadership of Dubai in that case. They've placed themselves strategically in such a great position that everything bad goes in any part of the world, Dubai is the go-to place. Be it Russia, Ukraine, people come in for the comfort of life, the security, be it Arab Spring, anything goes bad in Pakistan, India, everybody looks up to Dubai. Dubai and UAE overall. I think, and when you talk specifically about UAE's economy, जो है ना वो UAE की इकोनॉमी को ना सिर्फ रियल स्टेट से देखा रियल स्टेट की इज फ्लरिशिंग रियल स्टेट की प्राइसेस नीचे हो गई हैं या मार्केट स्टेट की प्राइसेस स्टैग्नेंट है तो UAE की मार्केट स्टैग्नेंट है दैट डज नॉट होल्ड ट्रू फॉर मी दुबई हैज मच मोर देन रियल स्टेट इट्स अ मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हब बिकमिंग people coming in from different parts of the world because we are into business as in companies and individuals come to us in order to help them in setting up businesses in UAE. And we see a lot of requirements coming in from different parts of the world in terms of setting up a manufacturing unit or a different type of a trading business. And this is which gives the overall strength to the economy. As in people coming in from China, Pakistan, India, they would want to set up a manufacturing unit of let's say a bottling plant or different types of products. So this gives a lot of credibility to the economy, and it's not only about real estate.
100%.
It's much more than that. So I think UAE, no matter what the world perceives or the world says, I think UAE is fairly placed in terms of real estate as well as other sectors as well.
100% Yasir, you've absolutely hit the nail on the head जो आपने बात की ना कि real estate is not the benchmark of UAE's economy जो unfortunately ऐसी perception है और मैं बस सिर्फ इसमें एक चीज़ ऐड करूँगा आपने बहुत अच्छा broadly cover किया है कि बहुत ही लूज सा आर्ग्यूमेंट होता है जो लोग अक्सर देते हैं कि यार everything is artificial. I don't know ये artificial चीज़ है जो 1990 से लेकर अभी 2025 तक फ्लरिश करती जा रही है. So there is definitely not enough basis around this argument. It is a solid real economy. आपने बताया real estate is not just the only thing. आपने मुख्तलिफ sectors की बात की, healthcare हो गया. We have just seen कि so all those massive investments coming into the AI, they are building those massive data centers here. So I just couldn't agree more.
So on my flight back from London, I was sitting with this guy, and then थोड़ी सी normal जो बात होती है, hello, and then I had a brief conversation. He said, I asked him, where are you from? He said, I'm stationed in London, but I'm going to meet somebody in Dubai. And when he asked me the same, I said, I've been living in UAE since past 15 years. And this first instinct or first way of looking at me, and he said, wow, you're so lucky. And then we always have grown up looking at the West, the UK, Europe, and then US is the place to be. But now, if you look at it, Dubai has placed themselves in such a strategically placed themselves that people are looking to be a part of Dubai somehow or be associated with them. If not setting up a business, then at least tourism.
100%. Yasir, this is becoming a little interesting for me. तो मैं एक चीज़ और शेयर करूँगा. यासिर मैं सोचता हूँ कभी कि यार अगर आप दुबई जैसे शहर में रह रहे हैं, if you have access to such wide जैसे कहते हैं ना वैरायटी ऑफ पीपल और अगर आपका सिर्फ ऑब्जेक्टिव ये है कि यार मैं सुबह शाम में घर आके नेटफ्लिक्स आई थिंक यू आर डूइंग अ मैसिव डिसर्विस टू योरसेल्फ. आपने कुछ ना कुछ और जस्ट मीट पीपल, टॉक टू देम, मेक कनेक्शंस, मेक नेटवर्क. अदरवाइज व्हाट्स द पॉइंट ऑफ लिविंग इन अ सिटी लाइक दुबई?
देखिए मुझे लगता है असद लोग जो है ना स्पेशली अपना कंट्री छोड़ के आते हैं ना दे कम हियर फॉर मनी इज द प्राइमरी मोटिव एंड द रेस्ट कुड बी सिक्योरिटी, कुड बी अ बेटर लाइफस्टाइल, those type of things follows, but then the primary motive is money. If you're working 9 to 5 and working for somebody else, I think you're doing justice to yourself, but then you're not making money. In order to make money, you need to step out of your comfort zone. Thoda sa wo jo extra hai na, that is required. Either it could start with the networking, it could start with any other side hustle, but I think that's needed. And Dubai gives you that platform. where you can just come in and do a bit of extra and then get it.
बिल्कुल यासिर, बिल्कुल एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग कॉन्वर्सेशन फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यासिर. दूसरा ये कि आई थिंक इट्स अ perfect segue to move into the next section. यासिर, जैसे मैंने शुरू में इंट्रोडक्शन में बात की कि you've built this massive personal brand for yourself. Of course, athGADLANG is of course one of those, but yourself as Yasir Gadit, you are recognized as one of the LinkedIn's top voices. Having 45,000 followers is not a small feat. I mean, we can see the average number of followers anybody has on LinkedIn, 1,000 maximum probably. So Yasir, ये जो personal branding है, how did it become a priority for you and why?
We as accountants, as finance professionals are generally introverts. So we need to go an extra mile to do or get where we currently are. And it's the need of the hour. It's the need of the hour. What we need to do is अपने ना थोड़ा सा effort करनी. Well, like I say, as in, if you need to get to somewhere, you need to start from somewhere. से आपने कुछ शुरुआत लेनी है. You need to start in terms of sharing the content. For example, you as a finance professionals, and then you being your love for doing podcast, and then you play cricket, for example. If you share the right content with people, I'm sure people would relate to you on a personal level. And when they relate to you on a personal level, they would trust you. And that trust could lead to a business, could lead to lending you jobs, can be as in make you a part of a network. So I think वो सारी चीजें ना बड़ी linked हैं. And then the best part about building a personal brand is you're reaching to a wider audience at the same time, but in the right content. Again, हमेशा ये सोचते हैं कि यार personal branding जो है ना वो सिर्फ influencers, but they don't think that even influencers started small. They took baby steps to reach to a destination where they're currently now. तो वो जो है ना, you need to start that.
No, so relatable Yasir, 100%. Yasir, जो मेरी audience persona है इस podcast, जो मैं हमेशा कहता हूँ 3 personas के लिए मैं usually ये content create करता हूँ. एक तो बहुत ही young, you're just starting off, they're just in module whatever, this first few years of their chartered accountancy. फिर एक वो जो कि middle management level पे हैं, we're looking up to the next gear of being a C-suite chartered accountant, और फिर of course एक C-suite CFO level. तो यहाँ से जो इसमें सबसे important है, वो जो सबसे young layer है, तो उसके लिए आई थिंक ये बहुत रिलेटेबल होना चाहिए, ये जो आपकी पर्सनल ब्रांडिंग वाली बात है, बिकॉज दोज आर द राइट ईयर्स फॉर यू, फॉर्मेटिव ईयर्स हैं आपके. यू कैन स्टार्ट इन्वेस्टिंग एक्टिवली ऑन दोज थिंग्स. अभी से तक आप पे पहुँचे, यू आर ऑलरेडी वेल एस्टैब्लिश्ड एज अ पर्सनल ब्रांड.
जब हमने स्टार्ट किया था ना, when we started our CA, I think people used to say that you need to focus a bit on your public speaking. And that public speaking was the only way of looking at it, so that you were board ready, presentations के लिए आप ready हैं. But I think as we speak today, I think personal branding is as important as public speaking. And वो जो है ना, like I mentioned, it gives you credibility, and then need of the hour in terms of reaching to the wider. I think that's a no-brainer.
Couldn't agree more. Yasir, यहाँ से मैं आगे चलूँगा थोड़ा सा फैमिली की साइड पे. Yasir, you already mentioned, mashallah, that you're one of the 5 brothers that you have, और उनका कैसा strong influence रहा. Mashallah, now you're a father of 2 beautiful, lovely kids as well. So Yasir, what are some of the lessons that you take from home and bring to work? और उसके अलावा, I mean, of course, you are spearheading this organization that you're building. So how do you strike that balance between, building this passion of yours versus the time towards family?
Last wala question, I'm skipping it. Growing up with my brothers, I realized that it's not about competition. It's more about collaboration. And then यही चीज़ जो है ना, we have followed in our business as well. We are 8 partners. And then talking about it, if you look at it, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And this is how we have built up our business as well. So when I talk about multi-jurisdiction offices that we have, each partner looks at it. Each service line has been managed by a different partner. And then we all collaborate and work towards the ultimate goal of the overall growth that we are targeting. So I think that's the overall idea. This is what I've learned from my brothers, that collaboration is the key. At the same time, when talk about kids, I've learned the art of listening. This is super important. As in, you need to spend time, listen to what they are saying, and the art of leading by the example and not instruction. So this is what I've learned and I've implemented being a father. Talking about work-life balance, I'm still trying to find the right mix. But what I try to do is I try to spend my time of work during the weekdays, and the weekend is for my family and my friends. So this is how I try to manage. But then again, everything overlaps, as you move along. I'm trying to find the right mix as we speak.
Relatable as
And
well.
I'm sure it'll be true for you as well. As in,
नहीं,
पता नहीं आप भी क्रिकेट खेलते हैं मेरी तरह आप भी जो है you're in office till late again वो आप कहीं ना कोई चीज़ sacrifice overdo as in work then you're sacrificing your time with your family and if you spend your time with your family continuously and you get back to work after that you realize कि यार बहुत सारी emails miss हो गई हैं बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं that you need to cope up. So I think striking the balance is something not easy.
Totally, Yasir. I think इसको ऐसे ही close किया जा सकता है कि let's just give credit to the very understanding life partners that we respectfully have, who support us and in our passions that we both follow respectively. Yasir, मैं सिर्फ यही कह सकता हूँ Yasir, this conversation has been nothing but inspirational for me. I mean, ये ऐसा लगता है कि I created for the audience, but I equally created for myself. आपके जैसे लोग who I look up to and many others who I've spoken to earlier are nothing but inspiration for me. So thank you very, very much for taking out time for this conversation today. Yasir, usually I end it on a funny note. I do a rapid fire kind of round where I throw in a one-liner, two-liner questions and I expect a very quick kind of reply. So let's get on with it. So Yasir, rapid fire round. The first question is, if entrepreneurship were a cricket shot, which one would it be for you? A cover drive, a hook shot, or a cheeky scoop over the keeper?
A cover drive. Going with the comfort zone, a bit of classiness.
It is. You have that laziness in your shots, you know, that lazy elegance which Yusuf, Muhammad Yusuf Ali, the bat comes with the flow and sort of it goes. Laziness in a good sense, you know, the Yusuf's bat, the way it used to come, you know, gradually you could see it coming and swinging through the ball. So I've noticed that in your batting as well. My team would not like me for saying this, but this is true. One financial buzzword that sounds fancier than it really is.
Synergy. Nobody knows how it will work, but still we feel it's magical.
Yasir, if you woke up tomorrow and could live as any cricketer, who would that be?
देखिए ना बैटिंग सिक्सेस मार लिए तो you're a batsman, अगर नहीं मारे तो you're not. आप bowling कर रहे हैं, अगर आपने विकेट ले ली तो you're a bowler, you're not. And then you get the opportunity of retiring 5 times and then coming back and playing again in the ODIs. So yes, Shahid Afridi.
Good reasoning. Yasir, if you could sit down for coffee with any founder or CEO, living or past, who would you choose and what would be the first thing that you would ask them?
Question will remain the same. The answer is as an Elon Musk. And I'll ask him, how many hours do you sleep in a day?
So true. We wonder the same as well, Yasir. Yasir, what's that one thing you wish you had learned earlier about your leadership or business that you would have saved a lot of trouble?
The art of saying no. No, you need to learn the art of saying no. It'll save you a lot of time, effort, and...
This is true. I'm still learning it. The art of saying no. Yasir, if you were to pick one, I know you are a very competitive cricketer. You're an all-rounder, right? So you have this off break which you recently converted into leg break. So if you were to pick one, smashing a pull shot for a 6 or rattling the stumps with your leg breaks.
Smashing a ball for a 6. Nothing beats the sound of a ball leaving the bat.
Really? I could relate to it as well, but not as much as you do because you know the style of cricket that I play. But cool, Yasir. Yasir, thank you very, very much. This was indeed a pleasure speaking to you today, knowing about your life, the ambitions, the passions, and everything else that you're creating. So thank you very much for taking time out.
Thank you very much, Asad. And I really enjoyed the session. And we look forward to connect again on the field.
Perfect, Yasir.
And off the field.
Inshallah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is for today's podcast. Yasir Gadit, I mean, as I said earlier, he's nothing but a celebrity. From a finance fraternity angle, feel free to connect with him on LinkedIn. He would be happy to connect with you as well. If there are any questions, suggestions, pieces of advice that you would like to seek from him, he's quite active on LinkedIn. You can find him there. Until next time, have a good one. Cheers.